Hello, my darlings. It's Dion Dean back with another video. I told you I was going to be giving you more information. The more I sit back and just take a look at the thrift community, the more that I sit back and just take a look at how I thrift and how I make it look so effortless. I understand that there are some questions, though, about how do we do what we do. And so I want to do this video on how to shop the Goodwill Outlet because in looking at the reviews of some of the outlets that I've been to, there's always a good number of people that show up at a Goodwill Outlet thinking that it's going to be, or even Salvation Army by the pound, and they think it's just a normal Goodwill, and then they're turned away, like they're turned off with the fact that they have to dig. So I want to make sure that you have an understanding of how to shop a Goodwill Outlet, because I think that those of us that do it really well, we just go in there and do it, and we have fun with it, and we make it look easy. So here are some tips from me on how to shop the Goodwill Outlet. I think overall with thrifting, and I'm going to be looking down at my phone because I have my notes here. I'm a big note taker, okay? Journaler, note taker, however you put it. But number one, regardless of whether you're thrifting in an outlet or a traditional thrift shop, you want to be comfortable. So I, for the most part, have a uniform. I either wear like an all-in-one sundress, a short sundress with closed-toe shoes. I know I've been guilty of wearing open-toe, and that's really not the best thing to do because with the outlets, a lot of times they have hardware and books mixed in with clothing, and so there is a danger of something crashing down on your foot. So I am very guilty of especially down here in South Florida, putting on some open toe shoes. But traditionally you want a good pair of like Converse or sneakers, some old dingy Nikes, something that you're not really scared of getting messed up. So sneakers, if you're not wearing an all-in-one, you can wear leggings, white tee, something that's very comfortable. You're going to be stretching and pulling and bumping into people, and you're just going to get really in there and mucky. And if you're going in there being prim and pris, it's not going to work. So you want to be comfortable. Some people like to wear long sleeve, but it does get hot in a lot of these outlets because it's kind of a warehouse. So you want to be comfortable. You want to have clothes that, for the most part, aren't necessarily too flowy because you're going to be all over the place. I do not wear gloves. I know. I get DMs from you guys all the time. Dion, wear your gloves, wear your gloves. And I'm a tactile person when it comes to touching. You guys know I love the good stuff, right? I love my leather. I love my cashmere. I love my silk. And excuse me, a lot of times you just can't tell that through gloves, and I don't want to go looking, for the hang tag to see what material it is. So I'm guilty of not wearing gloves, but honestly, I should wear gloves. There are times when people have reached in and found a bug. They may have found something wet, and you just don't want that feeling. So add gloves to the repertoire as well. So number one is just be comfortable, okay? That's the main thing, because if you're not comfortable, you're not going to be able to dig the way you need to dig, because I'm telling you, there are times when I'm like halfway in the bin, and I can't do that if I'm not comfortable, okay? So number one is be comfortable. Number two, do your research. Most of the people that go to the outlets have done their research, okay? They know about the Anthropologie brands. They know about the J. Crew labels and the Banana Republic labels, the old labels versus the new labels. On my Instagram stories, I am Dion Dean, I sent out a picture of the new Diane von Furstenberg labels. That's huge to know, because if you're out there buying and you're buying the old stuff, that's not going to sell as much as the new stuff. So you really want to know your labels. Also, if you've watched any of my outlet videos, you've seen where I don't necessarily go through everything. Whether it's a pair of jeans or a shirt, I'll go through, look at the label, toss it back. Look at the label, toss it back. I don't have to pull out the whole garment to see if it's something that I'm looking for. I just look at the label. If it's a designer that I want, I keep it. If it's something that I'm not interested in, I throw it back. So you have to do your research so that you know what's out there, what's a good sell for you, what's not a good sell. You need to know if it's a new Banana Republic or an old Banana Republic. If any of you are reselling to a Clothes Mentor or a Plato's Closet or a Style Encore, they're very stringent on new product versus old product, and so they're looking for new Banana Republic, new J. Crew. They're looking for newer labels. So definitely do your research. Also, in doing your research, you'll be more comfortable that what you're finding is something that is resaleable, okay? So yes, do your research so that you know what to look for before you even walk in the door. All right, let's go on to another one. My third one, and this is not, once again, these are my rules. This is how I do it. Watch from the sidelines. Whenever I go into a Goodwill outlet, I'll go in, I'll kind of take a look at what's going on. If I see a group of people over by a certain area, then I know that those are new bins that have probably just come out and they're, over there going crazy over those bins. I can look and see what bins are newer. I can look and see where the housewares are. I can see where the shoes are. I can see where the clothings are. Clothings, where the clothing is. Take a look. Don't just jump in there and just go to the first bin you see. Kind of take a pic, take a look, and see where everybody is and what everybody's doing. You can kind of see where people have stacked their carts off to the side. You can see if there are any shady characters over there lurking by people's items. Just take stock, take a minute, and kind of see where everyone is. There are a lot of times where I'll kind of go through once just to see what's in the different bins, and then I'll decide which bin to go in. But really, don't just jump in there because no. There are times where I'll start off with the shoes, I'll start off with the bags, and I'll start off with some of the bins that have products in it that are a little fuller than others. I'm trying to figure out why is that one that's been dug up or not. So just take stock. Once you take stock, then you don't jump in. Don't just jump into the first one that you see. I know that some people will start on one side and work their way over. Some people will start on the middle and start their way out. I tend to just watch from the sideline, go through once, and then pick a bin to kind of pick through. I do not, let me say this, when they pull out those new bins, let me tell you something, baby. My mom always taught me you don't start a fight, but you finish one. I have seen where people have gotten violent when these new bins come out. Let me tell you something. You hit me, if you elbow me in the chest because you're trying to get a Jimmy Choo, there's going to be a problem. So I don't even put myself in the mix because I'm telling you, I have seen people just get really, really violent over new bins. So I don't put myself in that position because I know Jesus, but Jesus can't pull me off of nobody. Okay. So I avoid the new bins. I don't even go over there. I don't put myself in that position. Once the new bins have kind of been gone through and they start pulling other ones so that they get off of those bins, then I'll approach those bins. But I do not go to new bins. It's just because you hit me in my chest or you elbow me or you pull at my wig or something, it's going to be a situation. Okay? So let's just go on to the next one. Okay, so this tip, it works for me most of the time, and it's shop for what you know. Okay, I for some reason am addicted to jeans. So if you watch any of my videos, yeah, I'm just drawn to jeans. So I'll when I'm doing my walk around and doing a survey, if I see a bin that has a majority jeans, that has a lot of jeans, I tend to go to that one because I know designer jeans really well. If you know Banana Republic skirts really well, you do that. If you know outerwear really well, you do that. I met a thrifter, fellow reseller at a family thrift outlet in Chicago, and she was an expert at like swimwear and scuba wear, and so that was her zhuzh. Her cart was full of swimwear and scuba wear. That was her niche, and she knew that niche. So go in there with an idea of what you love to thrift for. Like I said, I love designer jeans. I don't know when this love came to me, but I love designer jeans, designer shoes, designer handbags. That's why the Goodwill Outlet in the Salvation Army by the pound outlet, that's my zhuzh. I could go there every Wednesday and never get bored because I love shoes and I love handbags. And that's, for the most part, what they have at that outlet. So go in there and stick with what you know. If you love jeans, if you love pants, if you notice that you're just better at selling dresses, then you just look for dresses and cut out all the noise of everything else. And then once you're done, thrifting for your dresses, then you can go back in and look for other items. But I look for, designer jeans. I look for designer handbags. I look for designer shoes. So that's what I stick to, and it works for me. All right, so I think we have one or two more, so let's get to it. Now this may be a piggyback or a mix of the last tip, but In addition, stay focused. It's very, very hard to see all the amazing, fabulous pieces that are been in front of you when you're looking to the left and to the right of you. And especially if you go with girlfriends, it's so tempting to kind of see what everybody's doing, but you really have to stay focused on the bin where you are. And I say that because a lot of times, you may see somebody pull something out of a bin that is amazing. Like I remember once I saw this woman pull out this beautiful Kate Spade bag, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was watching her for like 10 minutes to see if she was going to put that bag back. But honestly, if I would have kept my eyes on that and what she was doing, I wouldn't have seen the amazing Manolos that were in my bin. I just had to keep on pulling and finding it. And so stay focused, stay intent on your bin. For example, I love skinny jeans. So, I'm not looking at wide leg jeans. I'm not looking at corduroy. I'm looking specifically for skinny jeans. I love geometric print. I love black and white. So I'm looking for black and white. I'm focused on what I'm looking on. So it's kind of like a mishmash of all of these, but stay focused on your bin. And when you see the blue, right, when you get to the bottom of your bin, then you move on to the next one. But stay focused on your bin, because you'll be looking at what everybody else is picking up and you're really wasting time. There's some treasures to be had in your bin if you stay focused and look through that particular bin. All right, let's go into another tip. Okay, so this is huge. Okay, I think this is like the biggest one of all as far as tips. Goodwill Outlet is not like your traditional Goodwill. I can spend a good amount of time in a traditional Goodwill myself, but if you are going to an outlet, please give yourself time. If you are going on a lunch break or 30 minutes or whatever, and you're not a Goodwill Outlet veteran, because I know, I'm a veteran. I can go in there and I'm good. But if this is not you, if you're not a veteran, if you're just starting out, you cannot go in there with 30 minutes or even an hour. Block off 2 to 3 hours, if not half a day. Go with your girlfriends, make an event out of it, make a day of it. But the number one reason I think people get overwhelmed with the Goodwill Outlet is that they see 16, 20, 30 bins, and they're like, oh my gosh, I only have an hour, I only have 2 hours. No, don't do that. Block off a good amount of time where you can really spend some time going through the bins. When we say we're going to the bins, if I tell my husband right now I'm going to the bins, he knows, all right, baby, I'll see you in like half a day, because because I'm spending time. You have to give yourself time. If not, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not going to get to see any of the good stuff. You're not going to be able to give ample time to each bin. And you're going to get frustrated because you're going to keep on looking at all the other bins that you have to go through. So this is big. Be patient and give yourself time. I think that probably should have been number one. But I want to end it with that because I see so many people get overwhelmed, and it's really because you're not giving yourself time. Excuse me. I know that it's a lot of stuff, but if you say you're going to give 10 minutes to each bin or 20 minutes to each bin and allocate that time, it takes the pressure off of it, so that you're not feeling so anxious and not feeling so overwhelmed with all the stuff that they have for you to go through. All right, so I hope this helped. I hope this was a blessing to you. If any of you are resellers, thrifters, and you have other tips, please leave them in the comments so that we can all take a look at it and gain some knowledge from your experience. This is how I do it. It's not law, but this is how I make it work. And so there you go. I hope it's been a blessing to you. As always, we never pay retail. If you haven't signed up for my course on how I look fabulous on a budget, please do check it out. This is how I'm able to be fabulous on like pennies. Now, I do love it. Now, my bag ain't gonna be pennies. My bag, my shoes, they might be a pretty penny, but for my clothing and building an amazing wardrobe on a budget, I put it all in an e-course for you, because there's just some things that I'm just not able to put out there because it's a lot of information. So I bundled it all into a course for you, and I hope it's a blessing, as I hope this was a blessing to you. And once again, follow me at IamDionDean on Instagram. You can see me shop the outlets. I went this past week, and I believe the video is ready. I'll put it for you up here. And yeah, that's it. Love you. Never pay retail. Bye. There are counterfeit Jimmy Choo, Louboutin, Manolo Blahniks out there, and a lot of times you can tell that it's not real because the symmetry of the stitching. Lining never lies. You're gonna hear me say that over and over again. The lining never lies. So natural fibers and synthetic fibers, what's the difference? And why does that add to cost?